Hello, I am Nicole and I'm here with Chatty Hatter doing our That Engineering Chat podcast takeover for Subcon. It's actually our last one of the day, but our second filmed episode, and I'm very, very pleased to be talking to this person. I spoke to him briefly in a post room, I think, but that's going to sound very confusing as an introduction. But I would like to introduce all of you that are watching and listening to David Hellings. He is the MD of DVR Limited. Hello, David.
Hello.
Now, you literally are the D in DVR.
Correct, I am, yes.
Aren't you?
Yep. Family-run business, Vicky and Richard being the R and the V.
I mean, that's quite something. How long have you been going? I think you do have a bit of a birthday coming up, but not quite yet.
A little way off, yes, but they started officially 1982, and we've been going since 2004. We was a limited business and started to really grow it from there. So prior to that, it was very much a garden shed business, as my parents started it, just the two of them. And then it was in 2004 that we took it to a limited company, started employing people and grew it from there, really.
So your mum and dad started it?
They did, yes.
In a garden shed?
Yep, decided my destiny like many years ago.
PR gold. I mean, that's amazing.
Not just a garden shed. They actually took over half of my bedroom when I was about 4.
That's a bit selfish.
And was doing it in the, doing assembly work in part of the bedroom.
So
I can remember electrocuting myself at about 7 while I was learning to test circuit boards for them.
My God.
Oh, yes, and I got the blame for blowing up the electrics in the house.
I mean, and there's me worrying about a few wires and health and safety. I'm in good company here, aren't I?
100%, yeah, I have no problems.
So literally, okay, so your mum and dad, well, it's lovely to hear of a woman and a man doing that, especially your mum and dad, that's lovely. But what were their backgrounds? How did they decide to start? Did they just suddenly think one day, oh, I've got a garden shed, I mean, how did that happen?
So my father was an engineer by trade.
Yeah.
Radio engineer. Somebody he knew wanted something designed, and he had a interest in that. Self-taught.
Yeah. Self-taught.
Yep. So
wow.
and just took it from there. So started designing lighting products, dance floors, bits and pieces, sound to light, and then went on to fume cupboard alarms for the sash windows, and was designing those, and then it really spawned from there. And
so for those that don't know anyone that comes into Subcon over this weekend, this will come out afterwards, but you kind of can't miss you. You'll literally enter DVR, which is very good. Very nice positioning. Well done, Subcon, for that. But well done you and your amazing team for booking that space, may I say.
I'll get Tony for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, tell people a bit about, in a nutshell, if you can, what you're really about. What do you do? What services? What industries?
So DVR offer the complete service, as we like to say. So that's from design, prototyping, all the way through to production, surface mount, conventional, cabling, box building, right through to the point where we can dispatch it to your client if you want.
Amazing.
So you never have to lay your hands on it if you don't want to see it at all.
So you literally have customers from all different industries, do you? Is there any specific sectors that you're more predominant in, or is it?
No, we've got a very broad spread, and I've got to say that's helped us over the years when we've gone through recessions and certain industries pick up and other ones reduce at certain times. So we've been fortunate that that's always kept us quite level, and it is a very broad range from medical, automotive, scientific, lighting. So it's an extreme broad range that we cover.
And so when your mum and dad back in the day were doing that, I mean, when, like you say, you became a limited company in 2004. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yep. So I was actually on holiday with my now wife, and we were laying on the beach, and I got a phone call saying that customers offered them a unit in Basildon. Did they want to take it? And my dad phoned me up and said, "What do you think?" At the time, I wasn't involved in the business. I was in the car industry. And I said, yes, just give me to the end of the year because I had a wedding to pay for, and then I will join the business. So we took over the unit at that point, started developing it, And then, in January of 2004, we joined and started employing people and growing from there. So to about 98 now. So.
And you've grown quite considerably, haven't you?
Yes, it's even over the last few years, we've been averaging over 25% growth.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, especially during some of the difficult times that we've had. So, but we've managed to maintain it. Got involved in some very exciting projects on the way as well. So it's we've been very, very fortunate over the years that a lot of customers that we've been with very early days are still with us now, and likewise with a lot of my staff. They've joined me. Some of them are my second and third employees back in 2004 are still with me now. So
that says a lot. I mean, that says a lot about you as a company and a business. What would you say are the main key strengths of the business and the company? I mean, you are a family-run business. You understand. You've grown from the roots up, I would say. So you understand probably, as with everything. I mean, I always say to my team, I'm like, every job that you do, I've done myself, literally, even invoicing. And I'm really bad at invoicing. But do you know what I mean? Anything. I've done it. I've written. I've done everything. So I have an empathy for everyone's work. And I don't know about you, but what do you think's been the key to that success story of that 25%? There's obviously a bit of luck along the way, but that 25% growth.
Without doubt, there's luck involved in it.
Yeah.
But it's being at the right time, right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm involved in every aspect of the business. I still prefer to be on the shop floor now than I do up in an office. It's where it all happens. Other than design, I can say as well that I've done every aspect of the business, from purchasing, accounts, running the pick and place machines.
Yeah, I hear
not
you
as
do
well
a
as
bit
the
of
guys
driving around on the
forklift as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not fussed. It's about getting your hands dirty, joining in, making it happen. And then the reason for some of the success, I would say, is down to a can-do attitude. We don't say no. It's take the headache away from the customer, make sure that we're actually somewhat taking the burden on ourselves to make sure that we're delivering for the customer. And we've got many customers that are sole source with us, so we take a lot of responsibility in making sure that we're delivering for them, that we're holding stock for them, because at the end of the day, if we don't supply product to them, they can't invoice. I know what that's like as a small business. That's critical. So I'm very conscious of that, even as we're growing, that it is very important for every customer that we treat them like that. So.
That's a very logical answer, and I agree with.
Business is difficult most of the time. It is about logical aspects to it, and just delivering on what you say you're going to do as well.
Absolutely, and I agree with everything you say. And if you're a business and a client comes to you, you want to make that experience better for them. You don't want them to be chasing you around, making it harder.
Buyers have got enough problems anyway. If we can not be a headache, then they will consider you for more work, because there'll be other people that deliver them headaches. So.
And I have been lucky enough to visit your premises, and I mean, they are stunning.
Something we're very proud of. Yeah, we put
really
a lot of time
stunning.
and money into the premises. So
it looks amazing.
The staff spend a lot of time there. If you look at the time that you're actually awake, they spend more time at work than you do at home.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's important that it's a nice premises, but also it's the way we're going to look after the premises. We look after a customer's product in the same fashion as well.
Yeah.
So it's a mindset that has to be driven throughout the business.
It says everything about your ethos as a company, definitely. And so with that, I mean, like you say, a lot of people spend a lot of time in the workplace. How was that then when how were you as a business owner when obviously the pandemic happened a few years ago? How did that affect people working from home? What did you suddenly, how was that for you?
So we locked down, or we sent people home about 2 weeks prior to the country going into lockdown, because we could just see what was happening.
Yeah.
Very quick burden on the IT department to deploy teams and get everybody working remotely. We had a few people that wanted to furlough because their health reasons. Other than that, we've been full on building ventilator PCBs, oxygen monitors.
Amazing.
So we was actually working more hours during those times than we was. There was times where I was getting home at 10, 12 o'clock on a Saturday night to get a phone call to say, could you be back in the office at 6 in the morning because you've got to build another iteration of a prototype board to get them out. And the guys, again, the team that we've got is what makes DVR.
Yeah.
And I was putting a call into them, apologising that they've probably only just got their backsides into bed, but can we get back to the office? But everybody, it wasn't just DVR. Some of the catalogue companies that we were dealing with on a bank holiday weekend were sending staff in, opening up for us so that they could get couriers to there, pick up components. So it was a big effort all around. And it was nice to be part of that very different experience to some people where they were at home a lot. because we were constantly working, and
Yeah.
as the that started to change, and we saw that our other customers were starting to come back on board, where some of them had exemptions anyway and could keep working. Their demand was still less than usual, but just as we started to get on top of the oxygen monitors, ventilators, PCBs and so on, then the other side of the business started picking back up again. So it was a very smooth transition, and another year where we grew again. So
That's well, and it sounds like you've got a lot of empathy. You've got the right ethos. I mean, I think it's well deserved. It sounds like you worked really, really hard, and you deserve the success that you're getting. I would say from where I'm sat. So,
Thank you. Yeah,
you're very
we do
humble.
put in.
You can take that.
There's a team, but it's there's
It
a lot
is
of
about
people
the team
deliver
you
on
have.
it.
It is
It's
about
not
the
one
team.
person. It's
It
98
is.
people that make it all happen.
Absolutely.
So
And is that how many there are at DVR? Not is that?
at the moment, yes, but it's I've been out the office for all day, so that might have gone up again.
So every time you go,
It's the speed it's
there's
climbing
someone
at the moment.
else's. Oh, hello. Who are you?
And it is getting harder to remember all the names and say hello in the morning.
So talk to me about this show. Is this the first time you've been to Subcon?
No, we've done this 7 years now.
7 years. I think you're our longest standing Subcon attendee to date.
Yeah, no, we found it a very good show over the years, hence we come back all the time.
Brilliant.
So and been trying to get ourselves in a better and better position each time, because it's actually helping.
You can't actually get any... unless you were out the front of the building, I don't know if you could get in front of where they have to come in. I think you're probably in the best slot.
We're quite happy.
Your
Yep.
stand looks pretty good. I'm quite impressed with the stand.
Thank you. Yep, again, Tony looks after all of that, and they've been doing that type of stand for a number of years now, so it works for us. And it's nice not to have to come in here and build it, which is what we used to do a handful of years ago as well.
That's what we had to do.
Oh, it's disgusting. Have a chat with the boss.
That's why it looks a bit more boho chic than sort of slick and DVR, but I quite like a bit of boho chic.
There you go.
So what are you hoping to get out of a show like Subcon, and what have you got out of a show like Subcon in the past? Because it must be nice. I know Subcon's been going the last couple of years, still, even through the pandemic. Did you come last year?
We did, yes.
So certainly, what's been the main things that you get out of a show like this, other than obviously connection with other businesses?
Firstly, it was nice to come back last year and actually see people attending again. And actually, even last year, the attendance numbers weren't brilliant, but the quality of the leads have always been great from Subcon.
Brilliant.
And so that's something we like. It is about connecting with some of your colleagues that you see at the show every year and just finding out what's happened. Seeing some of the customers that visit, and we've seen a couple today that are our current customers, but they're here looking at other bits and pieces.
Great.
And then it is creating new leads and opportunities. So, and it's, some of the time they don't drop straight away, but it's about working with these people, talking to them, being there when they need that support in the future, and then seeing if we can assist them in whatever they're doing. So.
And certainly, is there anything new that you're talking about at the show? Is there anything new happening with you guys that you can? Is there anything off the press you can tell us?
Well, earlier this year we did launch an additional business called Speed Assembly Services, SAS PCB, and that's a quick-term prototyping business. And what we're trying to do is give the power back to the engineers that are ordering these products by they log on, they can upload their bill of materials rather than sending it to us, and we have to go through it and work it out. The system starts looking at it all, checks availability very quickly, so the engineers know if they've got to find alternatives, and the system suggests alternative of stock that's available as well.
Okay.
They then upload their Gerbers, go through to the end, basically pick a date when they would like it, pay there and then, and the idea behind that is we're trying to eliminate as much overhead as we can. So if we haven't got an accounts team that's chasing for money, invoicing and chasing, we're able to pass that cost saving on to the customer. And this is about providing a really efficient price point that is good for both parties. We've still got to make a living, but we're trying to do it very keen so that actually people are interested in signing up and getting their prototypes quickly, because at the end of the day, engineering time is expensive, so they need those products back in their hand as quickly as they can, so that they can be working on them and keep the momentum behind the project. And then ultimately we hope that they're going to then talk to DVR about going into volume.
Well, and I think, like you say, it's like that's a very transparent way of looking at things and talking. We do all have to make a living. Everyone has to make a living.
Yep.
But ultimately, if you work together, then hopefully you'll work together on more projects, because that builds trust and that builds momentum, and all sorts of things can come from that, can't they?
Definitely. And if we can get involved in the project early enough, then actually there's an opportunity for us to recommend changes, improvements that can bring cost savings to the product as well, and mean that actually the customer gets a better price point for them so they can sell more. Ultimately, if we can get the price down that we're selling it to them, they can sell more into the industry. It's a win-win situation. And again, it's simple stuff, but it's about remembering that sometimes and not overcomplicating it.
Absolutely. And do you literally, is it all different size companies that you deal with? Is it predominantly different size companies, or?
Very much so. So, through SAS, we're not going to be shocked if there's a one-man band that even just wants some prototypes for a little home project that they're working on.
Yeah.
But then we've got some other bigger companies that are looking at that for providing them the quick turn that they need so that they can get products back in the engineers' hands.
Because I think that's important to get across, because I think sometimes people might look and think, oh my God, this company's been going for such a long time and they're really big and, they're not going to want to listen to me.
Even DVR, we deals with 5s and 10s, up to 10, 20,000 a month if somebody wants it. But we don't say no to anybody. We're about sitting down, talking to the people. If we think we can work with each other and it's going to work for both parties, then it's a partnership that we're happy to get on board with and work with them.
I mean, brilliant. I just think you're fabulous.
Thank you.
You were great at the post as well when I saw you. You were even getting involved with the post when I saw this man last. What a lovely way to end my day on my 6th podcast, chatting to you, Dave. Thank you so much for coming on. Anyone that wants to reach out to you guys, the best way is to go through the website, isn't it?
Definitely, yes.
So find you guys on the website. Obviously, they can find information about you through Subcon. Are you on LinkedIn, anything like that?
We are, both companies are on LinkedIn, myself's on LinkedIn, so yes, any way you want to, reach out to us and we're
Reach out, and obviously they'll hear all about you on this and we'll put this everywhere.
Thank you very much.
Have a fabulous show, and it's been lovely to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.